All right, hey guys, what is up? It is Bibzuda back here once again on the Outlast Trials. In this video, we are going to be kicking off my coverage of the first routine therapy that we've gotten in the game, and that is, of course, Nostophobia, which just started yesterday, although it says 5 days. I think it starts at 6 days. To be honest, on what it says in refreshing. But of course, we did know about this from the roadmap, and it does actually last for 2 weeks, despite the refreshing in 5 days here. If you look at the tasks, they last for 12 more days. So it does go for 2 weeks, and we're going to get a different set of trials for next week. So it's very interesting that, they're setting the new standard here. It's now called routine therapy. I talked about this already in the roadmap video and in the patch review for Primetime. But yeah, that is different. I don't think necessarily every single one of these is going to be more than 1 week. Like simpler ones, I would assume will be just 1 week, like, limited rig that we had recently, I don't think would really warrant a 2-week rotation, but this now is an option for them to make more interesting and more complicated weeklies that aren't necessarily full events. So I think it's a good step in the right direction. And of course, what does Nostophobia mean? Well, the word itself, apparently, as listed here and as people have said, it means fear of nostalgia or fear of returning home. And we, of course, have the trial list here. Poison medicine, vindicate the guilty, grind the bad apple. Have you guys watched the pipe video? We finally launched the pipe video. I'll be going over how to figure out the pipes I get, and then you can learn them all yourself if you want. Eliminate the past, reunite the family, fuel the release, fumigate the factory, stash contraband, and spread the disease. Pretty solid trial selection here. We've got 2 MKs for each prime asset, as well as 1 full trial for each of them. So kind of a good balance there. And what are the variators we're up against? Well, the first thing you notice in psychosurgery, there's no psychosurgery variator. So that's a little bit strange. We're going to be missing out on, importantly, the speed boost that comes with that, but also, all the other stuff that is normally bundled in. But you do have increased threat, just level 1 of increased threat, not increased threat 2. So maybe it's going to be a little interesting to see if there's any obvious differences in enemy spawns. No intel, so that's normally coming with psychosurgery. Limited items 2, limited inventory 2, so we'll only have 2 inventory spots, as well as bleeding is on here too, so that's very interesting. And then of course we have Nostophobia itself, which is its own variator. When I saw this on the roadmap, I didn't necessarily think it would be its own variator, but it is. And all we have it saying here is fear of nostalgia. Modern comforts have made you soft, predictable, and boring. Look back through time and remember, you are stronger when you are stripped of your creature comforts. So just kind of a little bit of flavor text. Now, I haven't played any of it yet myself, but I have watched Cots play a little bit. And I do know that basically what this does is it kind of takes away quite a bit from you and basically turns it back to what the classic Outlast experience is. So you can only find batteries and bandages in the trial. That is it. Those are the only items. You don't have amps and you don't have a rig. So you cannot fight back in any way. You can't defend yourself from the enemies at all. And all you're going to have are the batteries and the bandages to help you survive. Also, you have 1 less max health. Your max health is 3 bars instead of 4, which is interesting that that's reduced. I mean, I would definitely say you were more fragile in the older games, although maybe not quite as true on higher difficulties here. But since we don't have a super high increased threat, they'll be doing less damage than we're used to on Psycho. But the bleeding on top, I mean, that could be scary. Also, your battery life is shorter, as I understand it. Your battery drains quite a bit faster. Also, there are no traps in the trial at all, aside from noise traps like glass and cans. There's no psychosis mines. There's no prime asset traps. And apparently you can't get psychosis at all, even from the Grind the Bad Apples valves, which is very interesting. However, there's also no specialist X-Pop either. No pusher, no pitcher, no Jaeger. So all you have to deal with are the normal enemies in the trial. It's a very interesting switch up, and I really like that they've brought this out because it's cool to have more transformative routine therapies. I mean, that's what I always like about the events, and I mean this is much more transformative than the event we just had, which was Primetime. But something like Countdown, maybe even Under Surveillance, things like that really changed the game quite a bit. That is what's happening here for sure, and I hope that means good things to come in the future for more routine therapies that explore more diverse options. Now, again, I wouldn't expect this from every single one. We'll still have the normal ones that are just, you know, a certain variator that's normally not around, but still very cool. And the icing on the cake for this are the tasks. The tasks are super cool for Nostophobia. And if you are someone who's played the original games and maybe gone for achievements on them, then you might recognize some of the names of these. But we do have complete all 12. So it's basically like an event set of tasks. It's much better than the prior way that the routine or weekly therapy tasks were, which basically was just complete 5 trials for the poster, A+ in 3 trials for the stamp reward. And that was it. That was it for every single weekly. Was always the same. But now we have it different here. So completing all 12 of the tasks will get you the poster. And it is a really cool poster as well. They still have one task here for scoring A+ in 3 trials. So that's just some extra stamps, a little bit of XP for you. But then you have Punished, finish 9 trials, which is pretty standard. Educated, collect 20 documents, which is a lot of documents. So we're going to have to be looking out for those. Claustrophobe, finish a trial without using a hiding spot. Then you have Energizer, finish a trial without completely depleting the battery. Proper Penance, crouch walk for 2,000 meters. Heal the sick, use 25 bandages. Slip and slide, slide for 50 meters. Asahel, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Finish a trial in under 8 minutes. Sanctified, finish 7 on standard. Preacher, finish 5 on intensive. Saint, finish 3 on psychosurgery. And then they even have the Messiah task, which is to finish a trial on psychosurgery without reloading the night vision battery. So if you've done any of the old Outlast achievements, these are sort of, that's where these get their names. Messiah is the achievement in Outlast 2 to complete the entire game on Insane without reloading the camera battery. Certainly the hardest achievement in the Outlast games at this point, I would say. And I have completed that and all the achievements in the prior 2 games. So it's just really cool, like bit of nostalgia to see those, and they're going to be fun to complete as well. And I think what I want to try to do as a kind of an extra challenge for this special routine therapy is to go for the Messiah task on every trial. So I'll try to get through every trial without reloading the camera battery at all. Kind of test how well I can handle the darkness and also manage my battery usage as well, since that's not something I normally worry about at all in the game. So that can be kind of a fun thing to actually have to think about. But yeah, bit of a longer preamble for this one, but it is a very unique routine therapy here, and I'm looking forward to giving it a shot. So we're going to start off with Poison the Medicine, which is going to be a little bit more annoying on 2 inventory slots, but I'm really looking forward to jumping into this one. I think it's going to be a super fun time. So I will see you guys at Poison the Medicine. All right, we're here at Poison the Medicine. We're going to jump into the trial. No loadout to go over. We already looked at the variators, so let's just hop in and see how things go. This is going to be quite interesting. Now, one of the most impactful changes you know, I was literally in the middle of saying, I was literally saying it actively, that one of the most impactful things, and it was going to be especially on a Franco map, is the fact that there are no traps that can harm you. Therefore, there's no laser traps. Therefore, you can navigate the map maybe a little more recklessly than usual, a little bit more free of, you know, the fear of getting hit by something you're not prepared for. And I immediately, mid-sentence, get put in my place by a Pouncer. One of the most, if not, no, you know, I'll go out and say it, the most annoying enemy in the game by far. And yeah, definitely not happy with that, but we're back. You know, maybe the Pouncers could have used some removal as well, just like Pusher, Pitcher, and Jaeger, considering you can't defend yourself against them at all. But anyways, do not forget, of course, to smash the like button down below. I'd greatly appreciate it, and subscribe as well. With Season 4 right around the corner, you don't want to miss any of the upcoming content. But yeah, that's pretty annoying. I mean, and now I'm going to have to be paranoid of every hiding spot. And yeah, I don't know. The Pouncers are annoying on a good day, but now you have no chance of defending yourself, and particularly in my case, because I'm putting myself through the, at least, attempt of going for Messiah on every one of these trials, the the demerits are going to be quite bad for your grade, because there's not going to be a lot you end up doing to recoup those points. Particularly in my case, not using any batteries will mean I basically get nothing in terms of points back, unless I use hiding spots maybe, and then I guess the posters that I gather will have some impact. But yeah, definitely gonna have to be careful with any hiding spots I go past. Of course, we are a bit worried about our camera battery, but I think in this game, especially compared to the others, having no night vision is not as bad. Like, you can still see fairly decently, and if you know where you're going, it's not going to be the end of the world. I'll still try and go quickly and moderate my usage of it in most cases where it's reasonable, but especially since I recently got a new PC and I'm using an OLED monitor, the darkness is very dark, and that makes it hard to see when I take off this night vision. So, alright, that guy's going out that way to get over to me, so don't think we have to worry too much about him getting in our way, and we can finish off the first objective here before pushing the cart. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting variator, this Nostophobia, and an interesting switch up to the gameplay. I guess I'll hop in here. Rip to the claustrophobe achievement or whatever, or task, but that isn't really on my list to go for in every trial, especially a full trial like this, where if I do take any damage, I'd like some sort of hiding spot buffer to potentially avoid me losing my grade. Let me grab this poster. I think he's actually right over there around the corner, which is annoying. I'll crouch in case he continues this way. And he is doing so. Just hide behind the cart while he goes by. Yeah, I mean, I like how it more so emphasizes the stealth aspect of things, and if you do end up getting spotted, also benefits you if you know not only how to run away well, but also how to navigate the map quickly to avoid it. And again, you aren't needing to worry about traps, but Pouncers, I mean, I think fairly often Pouncers are kind of BS. Like, they will not make any noise while you're approaching a hiding spot occasionally, and then just jump you, and you just get beat to hell, and I don't know, very annoying. That's why I love running evasive so much in my escalation runs. Gets those buggers off you, as well as saves you from Henrietta and whatnot. But yeah, I do wonder if this, speaking of escalation, will be added to escalation or not. Currently, it is not in escalation, also not in Trial Maker. I don't know if I would, I mean, I don't really care too much either way if it was added in escalation. I think it would be kind of cool, but it also is restricted, you know, there's many variators that can't be put in with it, of course, because there's no Jaeger, there's no pusher, there's no pitcher. You couldn't have prime time, you couldn't have any of those other variators. You couldn't have anything related to psychosis or mines or stuff, I guess. I don't really know. It seems like it would be tough to include in escalation. But it would be nice to have it in the Trial Maker, just to have it as an option. I mean, the no traps alone would be an enticing prospect to just throw it on in order to have a fun exploration time on the map, which is, you know, it's currently the only variator that strictly makes the game easier, I think, is low enemy density, although Don't Make Noise, I mean, Don't Make Noise also does that, but it is hopefully something that gets changed at some point. I don't know, Don't Make Noise is in a very strange place right now. But, alright. Let's, I'm not sure, was this skull? It was, nice. But, yeah, the only reason I kind of feel like it won't actually get added to the Trial Maker is because of the fact that currently Naked and Afraid is also not in the Trial Maker, and I think that is easily the variator which is most similar. We do pick up our third and final poster there, which is great. But yeah, Naked and Afraid similarly combos a bunch of different effects together, including no rig and no items. and you know, makes the trial, or transforms the trial quite a bit. But unfortunately, that is not in the trial maker, and this again is very similar. So it would kind of not surprise me if this also didn't get included, but I would like to see it if it is possible. Let's go ahead and let this guy go through. Should we do the Saint jump? Should we greed for the Saint jump? Completely unnecessary trick that you can use to jump from up here to down there. I feel like we have to now that I've talked about it. You can jump down to the lower level without taking damage by jumping very specifically at... Uh-oh. Okay, I kind of panicked and just ran off the edge and didn't jump. But I wasn't at the right angle, so that's why I didn't jump. I can't believe I didn't get hit by Franco there. I didn't realize he was so close to me, or... Oh. It's actually so fried. Oh my god. I didn't realize it was in the light there. Okay, we're about to run out of night vision. But again, it's still doable. Wow, I'm feeling very fortunate to be alive right now, to be honest, given the situation I just put myself into. Unfortunately, not able to showcase the jump, but that is something I think I put in my trials tips video, full trial tips video that I had released. Man, that was crazy. Okay, 107 here is for our other one. We can drop this, although I'm not too worried about inventory. It is nice to have a bandage. Make no noise jumping off by putting it down first and then turning around and picking it up, so you can softly draw up off the ledge. Dude, where are you going? Can I ping him through this little gap? Oh, that's a dub. Surely, I mean, the Wolverine guy could be here and... God, Franco, you are so annoying. Alright, obviously Franco, by far the most threatening, especially in this... you know, I'm going to have a hard time converting to saying routine. You know, the problem with saying routine therapy, or routine versus weekly, is it feels weird to just say the problem with this routine. Like, that doesn't make sense. So you end up having to say the entire thing, you know, routine therapy whenever you talk about it. Whereas you could just say weekly when it was a weekly. So yeah, I don't know. I might even just still end up calling it weekly in my head, but I will try to convert over to the new naming if I can. Are you really gonna... Okay, let's run here. And I like how when you're trying to attract them, it's like damn near impossible, and then you make the slightest noise anywhere on the map and they come sprinting to you when you're actually doing an objective. But looks like we may have succeeded there. That's one of the benefits of actually not having noise reduction, is you can make a solid amount of noise to actually lure enemies. So far so good, despite some very close calls there in the train depot. Is this guy going to turn around? Last time he continued. Nope, he's going to turn around. But we can hide here. The giant, although may be coming up behind, which I don't want. We got to give that guy a little bit more time at least to path a little further away. Still hear him, but I think a slow push will keep us safe. Definitely recommend utilizing the slow push, especially, I mean, in Nostophobia, we're trying to be stealthy. If you're trying to be stealthy, it is very significant, the reduction in detection range that you get from a slow push versus sprint pushing. Okay, he did see me. I don't want to crouch down, please. And yeah, I mean, I am absolutely noticing the lack of psychosurgery on here, which, you know, there's no speed increase that you would normally get with that. I'm gonna just fast push this the rest of the way. And now we can start with loading up the next, or you know, the remaining batch of drugs. Of course, I didn't go over here earlier since I was trying to use my battery while I could, but hey, We can't forget to say hello to good old Duck Brown, chilling in the toilet. You gotta love him. And now back to the task at hand. Let's get working on these. And yeah, like now I can just freely have the night vision on as long as I want, of course, since I'm out of battery. It doesn't make any impact. I'm not sure how bad it actually was on Outlast 2 when you ran out of battery. Thankfully, when I did my Messiah run, I did not end up fully running out of battery. But man, one of the most grief things in the run is the fact that when you're like basically at the end of the game and you're obviously going to be pretty low on battery at that point unless you somehow did it all completely blind. Because there are some places where it just is complete blackness. You cannot see. There'll be a prompt that shows up on the screen telling you to reload your camera battery. And like, if you're anything like me, you're like, oh, I got to reload. Let me click the reload button. So that's something I was afraid of accidentally doing. Thankfully did not happen. But yeah, I don't know if it was like completely pitch dark without the battery charged in that or not, but I'm pretty sure it's the least dark out of all the games when you have no actual battery than it is in this game, but I'm not sure exactly if that's true. That's just speculation. I'm not sure where this guy is either, but hey, we've got all the packets filled up and now we can head in to get the poison. But yeah, I had a good time doing Messiah in Outlast 2. I practiced the segments quite a lot, and then it only ended up taking me 2 full attempts to get it done. You can get things pretty consistent, I find, in that game with enough practice. And a lot of it just came down to knowing where to go, since many of the places are kind of, maze-like. Especially, man, the scariest part of that Outlast 2 run. And I know I'm probably going to talk quite a bit about the older games in this set of videos because, that's what it's about. It's about the nostalgia. It's about the classic Outlast formula here. I hope I don't get grabbed. Okay, I don't actually see anybody to come grab me. So I will assume I am safe. But yeah, we can maybe reminisce a bit about the older games. But what was I going to say? I forget, to be honest. Oh, wait, that's so annoying. Oh my god, the Pouncers are the worst. Dude, I couldn't avoid that. Like, what the hell? Why are Pouncers in this? It's bullshit. I mean, I was walking directly on the wall. I don't know. I don't understand. Well, that obviously absolutely blows. And I'm actually going to use both bandages here. Partially there's a task, partially for points back. I mean, what the hell? If anything's going to make me hate, I mean, I didn't even think. I thought there's no way I could hate Pouncers more than I already do. And now we have this routine therapy where you cannot do anything about them. And that one was literally blocking the only path I had to the objective. So what am I supposed to do there? Like, maybe I was a micropixel away from the wall. I'm not sure, but I mean, that's just BS. That's at the end of the day, I would say. So I don't know. Fucking Pouncers, bro. Leave it to them to ruin this cool weekly or cool event, whatever. You get it. And this is just the most ridiculous glass patch I've ever seen as well. Just... Okay, yeah, figure it out, man. When are you going to come after me? We got to go upstairs for our other one, of course, using the signs to guide our way. I mean, I don't trust a single hiding spot in the map anymore. I mean, it's just insane. Problem is I don't know where every single hiding spot is either. I'm going to use the click window tech here to get out this window. Bam. Don't take damage thanks to the glass break that we did. And then we can get out with both of the poisons. So unfortunately we did take damage, and I would assume, like, probably one more instance of damage would knock me down below A+. I mean, maybe even this is already enough, but I don't think it's quite that strict. Especially since we got the extra posters and maybe even the usage of those bandages will help. But still, I mean, when you don't have any other actions going on like brick throws and bottles and rig usage and stuff like that that give you back or give you grade points, you are very easily going to lose the A+ grading with mistakes, especially ones that are, you know, very bad for your grade, like taking damage. And yeah, like losing sanity would also not be good. Sound traps aren't too bad. But hey, we got our first poison dropped off. The giant is way down there at the other end, so we are good to go. First annoying screamer, always going to be on the boat somewhere during this section. But then all we'll have left is the crank, and then of course, having only 2 inventory slots, we'll have to take 3 trips to the boat. Oh, did we actually set that screamer off? And he... Oh, wow, interesting move there, giant. Something's in the trash again. Oh, okay, sure. Why not just turn and come directly towards me? Hey, at least we got a piece of evidence, and hey, we got a poster. Why not? Again, we can be pretty reckless with our movements despite the potential danger because, well, I didn't see any hiding spots, first of all, and then, of course, there aren't any laser traps. A bit risky to use all my stamina to get here, but hopefully we're okay. That'll be done with that objective, and now we need to crank. But yeah, then it's going to be 3 trips to the boat for all the packets, or at least 3 trips to the little packet dispenser thing. And this guy's, of course, going to come out and annoy us, as he always loves to do, because he lives here, and he doesn't want you making drugs in his house. Honestly, a pretty short little loop will keep you mostly safe, and then we'll just run the reverse of that here, I guess, right? Although this one, much less safe to just immediately jump back on the crank, you could say, considering he's just gonna bust the fattest 180 of the latest century. And he might do it again, honestly, but I think we can finish the cranking process here. There we go. And now once we get our first packet, it will be our first set of packets, we can get the heck out of here. There we go. And we're off to the boat, where he will hopefully then move away a little bit and not be so annoying when we come back, since we got to do a couple of trips. Up off our first set here at the top of the stairs. And of course I will just come back with... Oh wow, he's right there. I'll just run through the back and then hopefully... Was that a document? Nice. Hopefully he won't make it... Yeah, I mean, he won't be here in time to do anything to me. I, of course, don't need to come back with... Like, this is the last trip I'll have to make back and forth. This is not ideal for my plans, but... I don't really like how I've positioned myself here. Although that guy is being incredibly slow, so we can actually just freely leave. I was a little bit worried with my stamina usage and situation, but things turned out fine. And, you know, I don't really feel the need to go back for the bandages, so we'll just take these 2 over to the, you know, the room and get started on the final section here, where we're going to be loading up the drug packets. I'll, of course, be using the good old strat I learned from Dash, where you jump over the console and slide into the hole to quickly get downstairs and get started with the objective. So let's see how it goes. Pretty much perfectly safe. I've never had issue getting into the spot before Franco wakes up. Although I think the part of the issue with it is I do think he comes down here immediately now. Because he hears you down there. Yeah, I just heard the door open up there. There he is. And I don't actually know where this Pouncer is, so now I'm a little bit afraid.
Right there. Come here, sweetness.
Is the Pouncer in there? Or they're in there? I don't know. The sound isn't good enough for, or like I'm not able to tell well enough because it's like all muffled. Okay, he's going over there. Can close the door behind him at the very least and hopefully do the other guy here. Oh, I'm sorry, my friend. It can be hard to hear the door sometimes. Dude, why did he come back so fast? Oh my god. That is annoying. I mean, I didn't hear the fucking door. Maybe my bad, but he's seemingly just perfectly stealthy. I mean, it's not completely lost. I could maybe still get the A+. I mean, I'm grabbing... Actually, I don't even... Maybe evidence does count towards something as well. I've got quite a few evidence. I'm just going to start doing this. If he goes up to the top of the stairs and immediately comes down again, I admit defeat. What can I do? It's just when you're doing that saw, it's obviously so loud that it's hard to hear. I mean, I also have my AC on in my house, which doesn't help, and Franco's just camping, it seems. Dude, you are full of shit! Oh my god, this is so annoying. Just, like, senses my location because I'm too close, apparently. I don't know, I'll grab this poster. I don't have high hopes at this point, but I feel like we might as well finish out the trial. I mean, even on a normal trial, it would be dubious to expect an A+ at this point. With 3 damage. Is it 3 damage now? I don't know. Whatever. I mean, he came down the stairs so fast too. Like I thought I was completely fine there. And he just said, "Fuck you, pal." Doesn't help that this is my least favorite trial by quite a large margin. And here he comes again. Fucking hell, man. This is the most I've ever even seen him come down here. I mean, what we can do is just do a run over here and do this again. Whenever I see him coming back up the stairs. I'll just drop off the thing here. Probably the safest route, and then we can put the last 2 in. There he is. Drop down. And if he ends up being back down here again, you know, I don't even care. What can I do at that point? And even still, the ending is not going to be perfectly easy either. So hopefully we can get something going there. We've finished the cargo. And let's try and get out of here. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of poison the medicine, so this is probably the worst case one to have had these issues on, which is quite sad, but can give ourselves one more bandage. Working on that task, I guess. And we can... Is this guy gonna walk forward like he's been doing? Yep, he's gonna walk forward like he's been doing. for no reason. We can just dispose of him like so and continue on. Of course, I will grab another poster to potentially save us, but I really doubt we're getting the A+ here. I will resist the temptation to use any batteries. Try and keep... I mean, this will be, I think, by far the hardest trial in this list, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Okay. I'm not sure how... Can't really see very well because of my stamina situation. Maybe I can just run all the way around here and go straight away. I'm gonna try it. Think we might be safe. So that worked out well for me, but not, you know, not everything else. Just the ending, which is probably the part I would have been the most worried about originally, but I don't know. We'll probably be having to run this back, but I'll keep this in because I don't want to re-speak everything. Wow, I am so surprised. We got the Messiah, of course, as we were going for. A+, 27 minutes, 40 seconds, poison medicine, Nostophobia, psychosurgery here. That's crazy. Oh, I got 7 posters. I didn't know I got so many posters, but still. Oh, bashed locked doors. 3 documents as well. Those might have... Wow, that is surprising to me. I'm not sure, but hey, I will take it. Definitely. I don't want to have to redo poison the medicine, so that's a huge dub. Next up will be Vindicate the Guilty. So yeah, that's a very pleasant surprise. So make sure you tune in for that. Of course, links in the description. Follow me on Twitch, join my Discord, and big shout out to all my channel members, especially Laura 3 of a Kind for being that Reborn Reagent tier. Check out the join button down below if you want to support the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. The routine therapy, very cool so far. And of course, I'm looking forward to doing the rest of it. It's just, man, those Pouncers are really annoying. And so is Franco sometimes. All right, peace out.